Hello and welcome back to Core Finance with me, Matt Brown, and joined this morning by Campbell, market analyst at Spreadex. How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, starting off, we're going to have a look at Eurodollar and FTSE. And Eurodollar, some big moves this morning. I think now trading up around 120.50. It's really just pushed on higher, onwards and upwards. What's your take on Eurodollar?
You know, the dollar's got a myriad different problems at the moment. Not only, it's taken the brunt of the North Korea sort of news really this morning. It's also got Hurricane Harvey and sort of the various dominoes that could knock over really. You've got the debt ceiling showdown soon in September. That will likely be impacted by the money they have to spend in Louisiana and Texas and places like that to help out with the Hurricane Harvey sort of aftermath. That then is going to impact whether Congress push through Trump's border wall plans, which that already looked doubtful in the first place, and then that leads on to, well, does Trump make good on his promise last week to shut down the government if they don't push through funding for the wall? So there's a lot beyond just sort of the headline grabbing North Korea things this morning to really weigh on the dollar at the moment. However, our clients have sort of seen this as a chance to sort of sell the euro since it's climbed beyond that 120 mark. I think they're looking for some kind of pullback this week. Maybe if the North Korea situation calms down in the second half of the week, if Trump doesn't heighten the rhetoric anymore, and we sort of see that cool a bit, then the dollar could claw back some of sort of the dramatic losses it's seen in the last couple of sessions. It's also you've got the US, the second look at the US second quarter GDP figure on Wednesday. I think that's expected to be revised higher from 2.6% to 2.7% at the annualized rate. Again, that's the kind of thing that, given the dollar is going to be scrabbling about for any kind of good news, that could have that could cause a decent, moment of growth for the dollar. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, you've got the non-farm jobs report on Friday. Of course, any positive news there. You've had the unemployment rate especially consistently surprise analysts with it constantly ticking lower. And then you've got the manufacturing PMIs on Friday as well. Again, if the Eurozone disappoints and then the US sees a decent couple of figures, again, there are chances in the second half of the week for the dollar to claw back some of its losses just due to it being a fairly data-heavy week for the US.
Yeah, look out for that, certainly non-farm on Friday as well. Moving on to the FTSE, sold off this morning on the back of really North Korea, but what do you make of it now around the kind of 7,400 level?
Again, our clients really don't like it around that 7,400 mark. It was the same last week. Whenever it's crept towards that level, we've seen more and more sellers come in. I will say, as it has moved towards 7,300 this morning, there are a few buyers there. It still seems to be trapped between that, in that 100-point trading range. Really, it hasn't got any momentum. There's nothing really to drive it higher. The pound's doing, the pound had seen a lot of its gains against the dollar unravel in the last few weeks, but then in the last week or so, it started to push back towards, I think 1.295, looking to push towards 1.30. Obviously, against the euro, the pound's hope this. So that is something for the FTSE to perhaps look out for. You've then got the manufacturing PMI on Friday. I think it's expected to tick lower from 55.1 to 55.0. If that weighs on the pound, then again that gives the FTSE a bit of breathing room. But again, it's the macro stuff really. It depends on how quickly the North Korea issue is sort of digested by the markets and whether there are any more sort of twists and turns really. We haven't had a proper statement from Trump. I know Shinzo Abe said that him and Trump had discussed it and they were going to, be more forceful with North Korea, look for a UN Security Council meeting. But that's not really Trump's style, and we'll wait and see to whether, a tweet from Trump could then cause these losses to double down really. So we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, we'll look out for that. Connor, thanks very much for joining us today.